Everything you see around you is words. You walk down the street and you see text everywhere. Go buy some groceries, words. You open your laptop or phone, words. You get in the car, bus, train or plane, words. Everyone is fighting for your attention or trying to sell you something, either by using images, videos or words. Now, there are different ways to write, as you might have known already. You can write to educate, to inform, to entertain or to persuade. And copywriting specifically focuses on the latter. Copywriting is simply a writing method that leverages psychology and decision making to persuade the customer to do a specific action. But we'll get into this a bit later. Before we actually get into the core of this video, I want to address something. Nowadays, everyone thinks that if you want to make money with copywriting, you need to be a great writer. And that's simply not true. So take me, for example. I was born in Romania. I grew up in Italy and moved here in the UK about 7 years ago. As you can probably tell, English is not my first language. Yet I wrote copies for our clients for either emails or landing pages and generated multiple six figures for them. Now, here's the catch. Copywriting isn't creative writing. You don't need broad vocabulary or loads of creative words or not even complex structure. If anything, the simplest copies are the ones that are most effective. Why? Because your customers understand them quickly and they make a decision as a result of it. And that's exactly what you'll learn today. How to create effective copies that sell. Not some science fiction to entertain your audience or some made-up story. You're trying to make money here, right? So without blabbering too much, let's get into it. First and foremost, as I mentioned before, your copy has to be clear and simple. If you cannot explain a topic, a product, a promotion in simple words, then I would strongly suggest you to go back to your drawing board and fully understand it. No matter if it's going to take you a few days, a few hours, a few weeks, you really need to get your message to the most basic level of language. Even if you say it to your 6-year-old kid, they will be able to understand what you're talking about. If you can find a simpler synonym for a word, use it. Or maybe you can shorten a phrase, just do it. Your copy just has to be stupid simple. I cannot stress this enough. But why does it have to be so simple? Well, because nowadays everyone's bombarded with messages that get shown images and videos and call to actions and buy this and buy that and so on. Everyone is basically in a reactive state. So if you waste too much time in trying to persuade them or using words that are too complex, you end up losing them. Why would someone listen to your complex message when someone else just says exactly the same thing in a much simpler way? Simplicity wins, at least in copywriting. So now let's actually have a look into what copywriting really is. So we'll start from the top, from the headline. This is by far the most important variable of your whole copy. And I'm not just saying it to get your attention or to state some crazy fact, but hear me out. Statistically speaking, 80% of the people will read your headline, but only 20% will actually read your copy. That's how important your headline is. And obviously, if it's not good, no one will even get to read your copy, no matter how good it is. So realistically, you would rather have a great headline and a mediocre copy than a mediocre headline and a 10 out of 10 copy. So your question now might be, how do I actually write a good headline? How do I get people's attention? Is there a specific formula? Yes, there is. As I mentioned before, copywriting is not about being creative or thinking outside the box. It's a plug and play system. So as long as you know the core fundamentals, you can always use them and apply them to your specific situations. The purpose of the headline is simply to make the customer or your audience stop scrolling or doing something else and just pay attention to you. Nothing else. You can do so by making them curious or stating a crazy fact or even teaching them something with the whole how-to method. That being said, let's actually have a look at how the how-to method works. I'm just going to give you a few examples and you will see how this might actually work in your situation as well. First of all, you have the how-to ... solve a desired issue or achieve a desired outcome. This is where you basically make the customer think of how their life will look like after you solve the issue or you show them how to solve the issue. Now the second one, how to ... in as little as. This is a similar format to the first one. However, you're now leveraging a time frame and obviously people want things to be done quickly. They want fast results, right? They don't want to wait. And here's a few examples applied in some situations. So the first one, how to get a beach body in as little as 2 weeks. In the first part, you have the desired outcome, and in the second part, you give them a time frame. Here's another one: how to grow your business to 6 figures in as little as 60 days. I hope you understand what's the concept here, just leveraging the desired outcome and then putting a time frame on it, and this will often do the work. Now, the second method is list of ways to get what you want. So let's have a look at a few. So 5 ways to lose weight with this new method. 3 bulletproof methods to scale your business. 7 secrets to build a multi-million-dollar business even if you've never started one before. Now, if you paid attention, you probably have noticed that I've never used even numbers. And there is a reason for that. Psychologically speaking, human beings react better to odd numbers. It's just a fact. Now, obviously with these, we're just scraping the surface. If I were to explain every single headline one by one, this video would probably be an hour long, and we don't have enough time. So if you're interested, just check the link in the description. I prepared a template for you where you have 14 other headlines and you can just download it. It's basically a plug and play system where, you have brackets. It will tell you exactly what you need to put in there, and it should make it easier for you. These are the same copy templates that we have used with our agency to scale clients' accounts to 6 to 7 figures. So trust me when I say this, they do work. Now that your headline is an attention magnet machine, let's move on to the core of your copy, the body. This is where the magic happens. You finally present your product, you tap into their emotional and logical side, and you persuade them into doing something. And eventually, you will also get your sale. Now, if you want to get more information on the emotional and logical selling, Gladys has actually made a video about this. It's the first video of this series, so go check it out after you finish watching this video. Now, back to us. Specifically for advertising, your copy shouldn't be too long. The main goal here is to be sweet, short, and concise. However, you first need to get a few core principles right, otherwise your copy won't be effective. In terms of principles, your copy should be focusing on the benefits of your product and not on the features. This is something that I see often people do. Say for example that you're selling a weight loss product. Yes, you can focus on how many kilos or pounds someone might lose, but that's not the main reason why they want to lose weight. It's not about the kilos they lose, it's about how they want to look like at the end of that journey. Secondly, you should always address the pain. In copywriting, you're always addressing a pain point first and then offering your solution. Let's now have a look at the various sections. First of all, in the introduction, you should give a hint of what the possible solution to the problem is to your client so they can vividly see it. So imagine going to the beach and everyone is just admiring you, your body and how you look and your abs. How would that make you feel? Then, and only then, you should offer proof of your claim. Because naturally, any person would think, well, I've heard this 1,000,000 times. Why would I believe you? So that's where you can mention anything like studies, awards, reviews, anything that will back up the benefits of your product. To top it off, you can also add testimonials of existing customers or previous customers, anyone that really has achieved those initial results that you promised them. By this point, some people might already be sold on your product and purchase it, while some others might have some objections. And it's important that you understand how to address them before they even get to have them. But why is that? Well, look for example at selling online or negotiating. There is a two-way channel of communication, right? The one party would say something and the other party would react to it. Whilst in advertising, it's a one-way communication channel. You say something, but you don't know how your customer is going to react to that. That's why it's so important to address objections at first hand. So how would you go about it? Well, you could say something along these lines. I know other companies might have promised you the same solution before, yet they didn't deliver. That's why we have a special policy. You either get results or you get your money back, guaranteed, no questions asked. Obviously, these objections might change depending on the industry, depending on the product you're selling. However, as long as you can identify them beforehand and you can address them, it will make the whole process so much easier for them. Now, finally, you have the call to action. Now, this is funny because I've seen so many marketers not actually including the call to action to their copy. I don't care if you want your copy to be sexy or creative or out of the box or whatever. A call to action should always be there. You should always prompt your customer to do something after reading your copy. And there is a study that proves it. More than 80% of the customers will actually click on something or react to something if you ask them to do it. Now, imagine how many people you're missing on just by not having a call to action. Obviously, as I mentioned before, there is more to it. There are different ways of going about it. and me going through all of them will take me an hour. That's why I put together this template with 14 different ads. It's a whole plug and play system, so it should be very straightforward for you. And you also have 3 retargeting ads templates, so you can make sure that you retarget those customers. Once again, we have used this in the past with our clients, and we generated insane results, so I'm sure that you will have same results and you'll find it useful. So there you have it, a comprehensive guide on the art and science of copywriting. Once again, remember, the magic doesn't happen in how creative or how pompous your words are. It's all about simplicity and clarity, and eventually it all comes down to how effectively you can communicate your message, all the way from the eye-grabbing headline down to the copy and finally your call to action. Each element has a specific reason. Your headline is meant to hook them in and make them read your copy. Now, in your copy, you explain them about your product and you handle all the objections they might have about it. And you also sweeten the deals with a testimonial or, a guaranteed or something. And finally, you will have your call to action when you finally ask them, okay, all you've read sounds good. Now I want you to do something about it. So what are the key takeaways? Keep it stupid simple. Focus on the benefits, not just on the features. Address pain points and offer solutions. And never ever forget to add a compelling call to action. If you master these fundamentals, you're not just writing for the sake of it, just to, entertain them. You're trying to persuade them into doing something, and that something will make you a ton of money. No matter if you're doing it for your own brand, if you're doing it for clients, if you have social media agency or whatever it is, this will make you a lot of money if you master it. Now, once again, don't forget to check out the template in the description. This has literally made us hundreds of thousands, so don't miss out. Now, go ahead. Make your words not just heard, but felt and acted upon. After all, in this world crowded with information, the most scarce resource is an opportunity, it's attention. And now, you finally have the tools to capture it. Now, once again, thank you for watching, and if you found this valuable, make sure you subscribe so we can put out more content like this. Until then, see you.